Hey y'all, I am back again. We're gonna do another card pull. I am not sure what the topic is. I'm just going to start pulling and see what comes up. I just went to a jewelry making class. Maybe it's not a class, just an activity. And I made that, so I'm really proud of that and excited. So I'm gonna do it from a different angle today because, yeah. I have this Calling Your Desires oil that I got from Unearthed Roots and Blossoms, from actually one of my spiritual herbalism classmates. And it is called Calling Your Desires. And I feel like it's just a good oil to have in this space, especially as I start to pull. And then we're also working on just like collecting thoughts while I sit here, and I'm calling it Words from Beyond Altar Meditations. And so it's just something that I'm kind of playing with. So I'm gonna see if any of these resonate with the message for today. I don't even know. I'm just gonna spread them out because it's not enough to shuffle. I want this one. It is a change in the way you choose to live with. Hold on, wait. It is a change in the way you choose to live with the respect of how others choose to remain the same. I came to know healing as having a choice. And in the matter of what you choose, make sure you never leave yourself behind. It actually says your heart behind, but I like the way yourself sounds. And so I'm going to put that here as our topic for today. Yeah, make sure that the choice you make does not leave your heart behind. So let's jump into it. What are some of these choices that we are making? The first one I'm going to use, this is my favorite deck to use, especially when I'm working like just with myself. And so we're going to do past, present, and future. And we're going to look at what spaces have you left your heart behind? What spaces are you learning? What spaces are you presently leaving your heart behind? And what spaces are you beginning to connect to? So try to help me remember. So the first one is going to be, what spaces have I previously left my heart behind? So I'm going to go ahead and take that one. And then what space am I presently leaving my heart behind? And then actually, I'm going to change this one to, what is the choice that I have moving forward? What is the choice that I have moving forward? Okay. So where have I previously been leaving my heart behind? Where am I presently leaving my heart behind? And then what is the choice I have moving forward? Wow. Okay. So rings are about contracts. It is about commitment. It is about new cycles. And so I think in the past, that sounds like resisting a new cycle, a new path, a new way of existing, of showing up in a space. And that has been a place that's been like kind of like that Achilles heel of whenever there's a new cycle present, like time for you to shift to a new space, there's a pattern here of leaving your heart behind. You know, it's when you leave your heart behind, you're no longer considering what you need, what you believe, what you think. It becomes about everybody else. And so that's a cycle. That's what's been happening in the past. In the present, it sounds like wherever it's calling you to be in the light, wherever it's calling you to be shining, lifting you up, you're not doing that right now. You are hiding. And so the way you're presently leaving your heart behind is by not showing up as your full self, as your most vulnerable self. Babies are vulnerable. Babies are bright, beautiful, and vulnerable. But they're also protected. And so I think the message here is that don't let that fear of being seen, of being vulnerable, make you leave out some important parts of yourself. And then if we move on to Fox, which is about healing. It's almost, I like to call it the community care, because it's like, take care of yourself so that others too can experience your healing, so that it can spread, and that we can all be taken care of. But it's basically saying there's more space available to you now. So in the future, what is the choice that you need to make in order to not leave your heart behind, is to consider the healing that you need, to consider the healing that really the world needs, that needs to be experienced, but it has to be moved through you. And so this is asking you to utilize that space. Like, there's this card talks about like how there's a new space of stability. There's more space, more room to heal. And so in this is telling you, when that room is made available for you, when that becomes clear, you don't want to leave your heart out of it, because your heart is going to be the medicine that you need. It's going to be the medicine that other people need. It's going to be the medicine that changes everything for you. And so let's go back. Let's continue to dive deeper into this. I'm going to do one more card with each part to make sure that we hit everything. And then I'm also going to pull an oracle card. So for the ring, for these cycles, tell me more about the cycles. All right, we got two. This is the luck and this is the garden. And so what this tells me is, when you're coming into new community, into new spaces, into new opportunities, because luck is like wealth. It's the wealth card. The clover card is the wealth. It is the success. It is the alignment with, one of the things I like about this card is it says, are you aligned with, I can't remember with something about like aligned with whiteness or spirit. And when they say whiteness, it's not about white people. It's about colonialism. It is about capitalism. It is about the things that keep us stuck and held down, the ways of the world and the ways of life that keep us from being our most true selves, keep us from aligning to what matters. And so this is about aligning with spirit. This is about aligning with community, having a spirit of service. And so when it comes to new opportunities or new spaces to do that, that has been the thing that you've done in the past. That has been the part that you have resisted. And then when it comes to the present with the sun, okay, there's knowledge, and that knowledge is probably coming from the ancestors. So book is about knowledge. It's about, what do you already know? Everything you need to know right now, you already know. And why do you know it? Because you're walking with your ancestors. This isn't the aligned card, but this is about prayer. It's prayer. It's the things you've asked for. And so I think this also speaks to the spaces that you have asked to be in, like you have called in. You've called in this energy, you've called in this space. And so you know what you need to know to be in that space. And why do you know what you need to know? Because you prayed for it. You prayed for it, and this is what you received. And then anywhere you go, anytime you're shining, like you see this baby being held, you're standing on the backs of the knowledge of not only yourself, but of your ancestors, the wisdom that they've held, that they've carried into this season with you or through you. And so to know that you're not alone in doing that. So as you move into this future space, as you move into a more, I don't even say, I think the thing that keeps coming to mind, hey, Nola, no ma'am, is a more healed version of yourself, or you have the capacity. I think of this as capacity. And so when you're thinking about that, what else comes to mind when we talk about like this future space of capacity to do the work, to be that person, you know what I mean? To show up fully and honestly and truthfully. That's too many cards. So we got Remember Yourself. This is not called Remember Yourself, but that's how I remember that card, because it's about like that own personal medicine that you have. And then Testimony is all about confirmation. It's about sharing. It is about being witnessed and seen. Like if you see, like he's praising and the spirit is upon him and everybody is witnessing this moment for him. He is sharing his story. He's sharing what's true for him. And so this is my Remember Yourself card, because it's like, it has a medicine pot in there. And so I always think about, what is the medicine that I naturally carry? What is it that's trying to be shared? What is it that I need to experience? And this is telling you not to forget about yourself, to pull from some of these roots of memories, from experiences before yours, from experiences that you have had that will help you to do this thing. And so this is more than likely healing work. And it's not even in a sense of, sometimes we think healing work is just always heavy in this, as because it's sacred, it's always serious. It's always, but sacred doesn't mean serious, it means sacred. And so whatever work that you're getting into, whether it's creativity, whether it is a new position or a job, or there's healing that comes through you, whether it is something that you would actually call healing work, like whether it has a label as healing work, there's something healing about you being in that position. And there's so much capacity, so much more capacity that you will have in that space. And so it's saying, again, to remember the medicine, like remember what you came here with, what you needed to share in this space. And so this again is your share card, it's your testimony, what needs to be shared on your behalf, or how do you move forward. How do you move forward in this season? How do you show up moving forward, and shifting into this space? And so going back to what this section represented, which was the choice, what I think it was like, what future choice do you need to make, or what are the future, I don't remember how I said it, y'all probably remember more than me, but it is talking about there will be more space, there will be more space, there will be more capacity created. And I think that's what we forget that healing work does, is creates more capacity for us to live lives that we desire. You know, it's not always capacity to hold other people more. Well, that's probably a side effect of it, but that is not your sole purpose. Your sole purpose is not healing other people. Your sole purpose is to be human, is to be here presently, and then fully yourself, fully being this medicine. So I know a lot of times we're talking about sharing the medicine, and this is definitely about sharing, but this is also remembering that you need your own medicine, that you need to pour into yourself, that there's something so magical and so beautiful about you that other people do need to experience it. They need to witness it. But witnessing yourself is such a beautiful experience if you can slow down long enough to do it. So this is, I believe this is called the Inquirer card, or the You card. And this is about you. This is about what you're creating, what you're pouring. And you know, the funny thing about this card is, I think this is supposed to represent the smoke or the concoction or whatever you've made, but it's sifting out. It's sifting out and it's spreading. And so I think that's important with this section. Again, there's a word. So now that's making me think, the thing that all of this has in common when I think about the meaning behind it is there is a message for you to share. There's a word for you to share. There's a piece of yourself, a piece of your healing, a piece of your journey that needs to be shared and witnessed, that people need to know about and people need to understand. And so how do you not leave your heart behind later is you got to be honest, you got to be truthful, you got to share that. When that capacity comes, it's time for you to tell a story, to remember that story amongst the people. And so there's been a lot of inward time for you. And so at some point, you're going to remember that story and it's going to be witnessed. So, yeah, I think it's just an energy of, you know, accepting what's new that's coming in. That was one of the things that you had to work through in the past. In the present, you're learning to be in the center. You're learning to be seen. You're learning how to allow that knowledge to flow through you, especially as you're connected to your ancestors. But in a space where you're being seen, you're being highlighted, you're being elevated. And then in the future, there's going to be more space. And in that more space, there comes more responsibility. But responsibility does not have to be a negative thing. That responsibility is really just you being you. I think that's what, if I think about myself, the work has been a lot of unmasking, revealing true self, being fully embodied as I am, and allowing people to witness that. And so that's why when I see this, there's something within you that has to be experienced. It has to be seen. It has to be confirmed in a space of witnessing. One of my favorite books, The Healing Wisdom of Africa by Malidoma Somé, he talks about how a lot of us in the West, and I think I've talked about this before, but a lot of us in the West never fully go through initiation because we are not in spaces of being witnessed. Like, we are not in spaces that are seeing us transition from one space to another space and honoring that, elevated to a different season of our life. And we're not existing in spaces that are honoring that. That's why we have graduations, when we leave a certain chapter of school and move to the next one, we have this commencement, this coming together of the people. And when we're in sacred places or jobs, especially when we're being initiated into sacred spaces or into sacred work, and sacred work to me is soul work. It is what is so sacred to you that it's being asked to be shared through you. So it's the soul. And for you to be doing it, it is connected to your soul. And so your soul's work is sacred, whether it is some, because I went to like a jewelry making class today. And I know it's not just a jewelry making class, like these pieces are intentional, and even understanding why I chose what I chose is intentional. But for other people, they may see this experience. They may see, oh, it's pretty jewelry. But what you know is this is medicine. This is medicine and this is sacred, whether they realize it or not. And so being able to see things that others may see as mundane, as beautiful, as magnificent, as sacred, as the root of things, as, you know, root work, as truth, as empowerment, you know, all of these different things when you think about what it is that you are embodying, because what you embody is honestly what you get to share with everybody else. And so when you start thinking about what you're embodying and how you're truly showing up in that and seeing how sacred that is, there will be opportunities to share that. And so just to make sure you share your full self. And that's what this is all about, is you no longer have to leave yourself behind in this new journey you're in. And so take that, carry that, and remember that as you enter this future space where you have new opportunity to show up fully and truthfully. So I appreciate y'all listening to me today. I wanted to give a different perspective so you can kind of see, because I'm usually just pulling and showing you cards. So let me know if you like this, or if you want to look at my beautiful face, because this that I do here is for you guys. So have a beautiful weekend, and I will see y'all again soon.